Charles, congratulations for being March's Member of the Month.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're just going to do a quick little interview, let people get to know you a little bit better.
Cool.
So, start off, what's your occupation? So what do you do for work right now?
I'm currently in between jobs at the moment. I'm about to hopefully start a new business here in the next couple of months.
Nice.
But restaurants is my background.
Is that so? That's kind of like what you
That's what I did in the
doing?
past. Yeah,
Okay.
I did in the past, and that's where I feel I'm best suited.
Nice. So are you like back there in the kitchen cooking up all the stuff, things like that? Or
Try not to be, but I can do it, and I have done it many times if I need to.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. And then what's your usual class time?
I usually come to the 8:30 when we can make it. My wife and I work together, so sometimes we have things to do in the morning just to come. So we will come to 9:30 occasionally, but 8:30 tends to be the time that we like to come to most.
Yeah. Nice. And then, so I kind of want to dive into your fitness story a little bit. I know that you have been doing CrossFit for about how long now? Like a year?
A year and a half.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And then you started originally at TCF?
Correct. Yeah, it's the only CrossFit gym I've ever been to.
Nice. So. And then how have you enjoyed your kind of time here at TCF doing CrossFit?
It's been quite a journey and a big experience for me. Everything is. I wasn't very sure of it at the beginning. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are the ones that enticed us to come. And initially, when I was told about it, I wasn't sure if it was going to be for me, but I've really, really enjoyed my time here, and I'm enjoying it more as I get more competent at it as well.
Yeah, and I know it's always a joy to have you in the classes. There's no telling what's going to happen. But awesome. And then, so what'd you do before CrossFit? So I know you're pretty athletic before.
Because of what I did for work before with the hotel, I was working all day, every day, so I didn't actually get time to do a lot of any gym work, and prior to that I just played my rugby. So really that's one of the biggest changes in my life, that is having CrossFit as such a fundamental constant now. I've been trying to find my new business structured almost around CrossFit. I enjoy my time, especially with my wife coming at the same time, so much in the morning, and that's been the biggest thing for me about CrossFit, is the time I spend with her. How I didn't think we could have a sporting event in common. Yeah, I didn't think that'd be possible. I mean, Sarah's never going to play rugby with me, or she's tried golf. She's good at golf, but again, it's not quite the same. Whereas this, she's brilliant, and it pushes me all the time.
Yeah.
So it's great, and I enjoy that time so much. So
that's awesome.
I don't want to lose out on that. Don't want to ever change that. So.
Yeah. So how'd you get into rugby?
Just played it through school. Started in school. At a young age in Scotland, you play rugby or you play soccer, football. But our school was a rugby school. So really, really enjoyed that, and that's what brought me over here when I was 22. And that's what inevitably led to me being here today.
Nice.
So it was great. Yeah.
So rugby actually brought you over here to the US?
One of my friends had come over and was playing for Raleigh Rugby Club, and he said to me, you should come and try it. And at 22, I thought the excitement, the experience really appealed to me. And of course I came over. I was only supposed to be here for 6 months, and I met Sarah my first weekend here. Job done. And that was it. Yeah.
There's no going back.
Phoned my parents, told them all about it, and so that was it.
That's exciting.
It was really cool. Yeah, really.
So
cool.
how, I guess, was it you just had the opportunity to like come over here just because you were so good at rugby? Is that what it was, or was it?
Thank you. But no, it was. I was a reasonable rugby player. But the quality of the teams that we played with, everyone was really, really of a high standard. It was a very competitive league that we played in.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, and so it was great. So it wasn't subsidised or anything like that. So we still had to work as well. But no, it was just a tremendous life experience.
Yeah.
Is what I put it down to. It was great.
Nice. So you weren't really changing anything else about it, like coming over here or just playing rugby?
No. Okay. It was the way it all happened for me was perfect.
Nice.
The way everything happened for me was perfect.
That's cool. How I didn't know that rugby was the thing that brought you over here.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. No, it was just cool. It was just an opportunity, and I decided I needed to take a break from my parents and get away and do something a bit different. And what's more different than coming to Raleigh from a small village in Scotland. So it was a great experience.
That's awesome.
It's brilliant.
And so, what I guess how else has rugby affected your life? So obviously it's really good because it it brought you over here. You found your wife because of it, and then children, and then like friends, everything. Family, and stuff like that.
Exactly. So all of those massive positives. It's who I am really, and it's helped me within the CrossFit. There's a bit of a mentality. You always get hurt in rugby, and it's a case of can you pick yourself up and try and continue to keep going, because you can't just walk off the field and sit on the bench and have a Gatorade or something like that. You can't do that in rugby, so you just got to keep going. And you can see that with a couple of the other guys that work out here, their mentality of being strong when it hurts, trying to push through. So that was great, and it translates, I suppose, maybe to your work ethic as well. So that's great. But rugby has its negatives, obviously my ailments. I have broken virtually my whole left side, from my ankle to my leg to my wrist to my shoulders to my knee. So I've had my neck in a brace, everything.
I know some of the stories that you've told while in classes, they've been pretty crazy.
It's but
just you hanging out with the team.
It's one of them. So that's I suppose we've always talked on my flexibility isn't the greatest, and I think that's due to maybe protecting myself in certain ways, because I feel like I've got weaknesses in my body. I mean, before I started, just when I started, I'd only broken my knee 8 months before I started with you guys, and I'd only had my second surgery on my knee 2 months before I did my first CrossFit class here. So when I first started a year and a half ago, I couldn't walk upstairs alternately. I had to do one step at a time. Couldn't think about carrying my daughter upstairs when she'd fallen asleep on the couch. Not possible. And now it's just normal life. I feel I'm actually almost as strong as I was before my knee surgery and my knee break. So it's been great, and I know I would not have got there if I hadn't been pushed by you and by the people that come to the classes with me. I wouldn't have done, because it's not in my nature to push myself if I'm competing, and not competing in the sense, but if I feel when you're here, you're invested and you feel like you must do it. It's because why else be here?
Right.
So it drives you on, and everyone's so supportive. So it was great, and I wouldn't have done that individually.
I know when first started the jump rope, I know that was a huge, something that you really wanted to get better at, and then now it's like just single unders itself was really difficult for you, and I always try to have a suggestion for you for that. And then now, it's today's workout, you flew through the single unders, and I know that you and Sarah have been working on your double unders and stuff like that, and you're actually kind of starting to get them a little bit.
I think I'm still a long way from doing double unders in a workout.
Though.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I mean, I couldn't do 3 single unders.
Right, and now, today you flew through all the single unders, no issue.
It's good, and I suppose it's just balance, coordination, develop. So you do more than just strength fitness here, and cardio fitness. You're working on everything. I feel far more balanced than I did before. Even with my rugby, I felt like I was possibly slightly more upper body than lower body at some times, whereas here you work out, you never know what part of your body you're going to work out on any given day. You don't. And it's very balanced, which is tremendous, I think.
And I also want to make a comment on your mentality. I mean, you're always in here, like you said, you probably got it from rugby, where it's like there's no, you gotta suck it up and keep going, because you're one of the hardest workers. Even when I see you over there, you're dying on the bike or something like that. You're like, no, I gotta keep going, which is awesome. How you just keep pushing through.
Dove wouldn't say that, but
I mean, there's some points in time where you wanna be reasonable, right? If let's say your form's breaking down or something like that, let's not keep pushing through that way, because then you just run your head into a wall. But there are points in time where it's that you keep striving for to push yourself and stuff like that within the workouts, when some people would necessarily kind of back off a little bit, which is kind of I think it's kind of inspiring in a way, just because you keep pushing yourself really hard.
It's only because people like you make you want to do that. So I appreciate everything you do and helping us along. No, it's important.
And so then what I want to talk about is like, so what are some of the similarities? We've touched on this a little bit. What are the similarities between rugby and CrossFit? So you're talking about like the pushing yourself mentality sort of thing.
Correct. I'd say that's the biggest one. I think it does hurt, and that's when you get the results, right? Is when you fight through that last 5 or 6 reps, or 5 or 6 calories, or something like that. That's when you start to be able to grow. So that's the main difference, I suppose.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there any other similarities that you can kind of think of? Maybe like supportiveness from the team and the community?
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, of course. Yeah, rugby is very much a team sport, and although you're working out individually here, or sometimes you do the team workouts, and everyone's so nice, so supportive, so encouraging, and also seeing the other people and what they're doing and striving to emulate them a little bit more, because there's so many people here that are absolutely tremendous athletes, and that was, I suppose, one of the big things. Is I hadn't really thought of it when I first joined, and Travis is tremendous for saying, come on athletes, 8:30 class, and I hadn't really thought of them as athletes. It's just people going to a gym, but they are tremendous athletes, the people that come here, from the older the older members to the younger members, and they become more athletic. I mean, gymnastic movements you do here, on the bars and the rings, it's so much more complicated than people think.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of like you're saying, balance, coordination, athleticism, all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not a one trick. It's not just guys coming and lifting weights. And I mean, you look at the ladies that come here. They're inspiring. The women that come here, some of the things they do. Yeah. Absolutely. I will. You gotta
try and keep them at bay.
Absolutely, can't let them beat you before they catch you up. But then again, you don't feel bad, and nobody makes you feel bad that some of the girls can do more weight than me, literally, because they're so competent at the movement through their flexibility or just their strength, and that's all inspiring, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, and I'm not bothered by it at all. It just gives you another milestone to aim for. Yeah, so it's good.
And so another thing that I want to talk about is kind of how you're always in a positive attitude, right? So no matter what the situation is or something like that, you seem to always be able to spin it into a positive light. And I just want to kind of ask you.
Well, thank you, but I have been negative sometimes.
Right.
I do get, everyone feels.
Everyone's human, right? Yeah. You're going to have those times, but it always seems like you're able to turn everything into a positive situation. And I just kind of want to ask you how you always do that.
I think it's like anything. When you look back on what you did before, and when you're in so much of a better place and you feel happier in yourself, then that hopefully transpires through everything you're doing, translates rather through everything you're doing. And it's one of them. I enjoy coming here. I look forward to it. Sarah and I talk about the workout tomorrow morning before we go to sleep at night. Yeah. It's exciting, and when you're here doing something you enjoy with the people you enjoy doing it with, your wife there, it's great. What more could you ask for? Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to be feeling full of the joy? So.
And then how do you? Well, not necessarily like positive attitude within the gym mindset, but just overall in life. Like, is there something specific that you do, or you just?
I suppose it's just where I am at the moment. I mean, you see my kids happy, you see my wife happy, friends, people here are generally happier, smilier people anyway, I feel. The sun shines most days. It doesn't do that in Scotland,
Well, yeah, so that kind of helps a little bit
exactly.
Too, right?
So you feel better. And of course, as you get healthier coming to this place, because you do, I used to smoke, before I broke my knee, I used to have maybe a couple of cigarettes a day, mostly for my stress control with the business and with the work, and cutting all that out, eating healthier, you feel better. You do feel better in yourself, and I think that just starts the whole ball rolling. You sleep better, you feel better.
It's crazy how like all those little things, like cutting out the cigarettes, moving more often, sleeping better, eating well.
Absolutely.
How that can drastically impact your overall look on life.
It was extreme for me. I didn't feel like I felt like I could have stopped smoking at any time, but it took me to smash my knee and 3 weeks in hospital kind of thing to give me the opportunity to stop, and then I just continued it. And now thinking about going back to that lifestyle, it just doesn't even register. It just wouldn't be something I would ever want to do again in my entire life.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's been great. It really
Yeah.
does. And as we said, sleeping better, eating better. You feel terrible on Monday when you splurge on the weekend, but I think you still got to have those little moments in life where you treat yourself and
Yeah.
all the rest of it. So I look forward to those moments, and I still, snack here and there and everything, but I definitely am more conscious of what I do.
Yeah, you understand that the consistency of good quality sleep, good and just overall healthy habits
Absolutely.
helps out with
You don't want to take a step back because you work so hard every day that you think to yourself, "Ugh, do I really want to, affect what I did today and null and void it?"
Exactly.
So it's
And so then another question I want to ask you is, what are you most proud of, or what are you most proud of achieving since you've started CrossFit?
Getting my wife involved in it, because Sarah didn't want to come originally.
Oh, really?
And now she is as keen on CrossFit as I am, if not more so. So she loves it. And initially when I had to sign her up in secret for her training week, and she was not going for a couple of days. I thought I'm gonna have to time this well. So to get her coming, it's brilliant. And for us to have that together is really, really important for me. So that's the thing I'm most proud of.
Yeah, that's
for
awesome.
sure.
Yeah, I heard that someone, I forget who told me, but someone said that Charles secretly signed Sarah up and conned her into coming into the gym. I was like, oh.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
And then, so what are some of the things that you thought were never possible that you can now do since starting CrossFit?
Front squats the other day. I didn't think I would be able to do the weights I was doing the other day in the front squats, and having that flexibility and that motion to get my elbows up. I've never been a flexible person, never. And doing the pull-ups and the rate that I can do them now, and in that groups of 4 or 5 at a time. I didn't think I'd be in a position to do that. There's so many things that skipping was never something that I thought I'd be able to just knock out 60 in one go without tripping over.
And now it's like nothing really.
You just have to do it. You just do it. So there's a lot of times you get to 30 or 40 and you're like, right, should I take a break now? And you don't. You just keep going because you just get it done.
Yeah.
And it's great to have that in your locker, to know that you can just do it. It's great.
That's awesome that you're able to see that progress that you've achieved, and then if you keep working hard like you're doing now, there's no telling kind of like what you'd be able to do just a year from now, or just a couple months from now, or something like that. You never know. The jump rope has improved a whole lot in just like the past 3 or 4 months. Maybe in 3 or 4 months doing double unders in the workout.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
I've got no desire to ever do competitions or anything like that, but I just feel like if I could just maintain and be the same level as some of the older members at their age, that would be everything I would ever want.
Exactly.
It would be great to just be a healthy, happy person. It'd be brilliant.
Exactly.
Forever.
That's awesome.
That's it.
And then what are some of the other positive impacts that you've seen since starting CrossFit?
I suppose you are just pulled up by the people around you. I would say everybody that comes here is quite a motivated, self-driven person. You don't meet many people that don't come here religiously at least 3 times a week, which is a commitment in itself.
Yeah.
It's good to. I feel like if you surround yourselves by positive energies, it keeps you going forward. And there's so many people that've got so many different backgrounds here, and I always thought you do to some degree when you have an accident, you feel a bit self-obsessed, and there's so many other people here that have similar ailments, and they work themselves through it every day. They osteoporosis, whatever, and they come in, and the strides they're making makes you realise that you can do it, you should be doing it, and there's no reason why you shouldn't. So that's good.
That's
really,
awesome.
Really, really cool.
So seeing kind of like what we talked about before, just the positive mindset impact from the people, seeing
absolutely
them being able to work through things, and you understand that hey,
absolutely.
If they worked through it, then I can. And
absolutely, yeah. Oh no, it's tremendous. It's brilliant. Yeah, really, really enjoy it.
Awesome. And then what would you say to yourself just 1 year ago? So like a year ago when you first started CrossFit, what would you tell yourself then?
I suppose I think initially I was trying to put on too much weight I was trying to compete with people that have been doing it for 8 years, getting frustrated with myself a little bit because I couldn't do some of the movements, and just realised it. I suppose patience is a virtue, and it will come in time. And stop being an idiot. Yeah, that's what I'd say to myself. Yeah, stop, chill. Yeah, that's what I would say to myself. You know, realise your own limitations. You're never going to be as good as somebody that's been doing it for 8-10 years until you've potentially been doing it for 8-10 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, just really those kind of things.
So much just understanding that it'll all come with time. You can't compare yourself to other people. You gotta see where you are at this point in time. See what things you've gone through, whether it's like knee surgery or maybe other ailments that you may have or something like that. Yeah. Kind of understanding that.
And I suppose as well as I think with this, I've definitely become more in tune with my body from points of view that I can feel if something's not right, and then I stop. I give that a bit of time, and then I can come back. But there are certain times you can push things, there's certain times you can't.
Yeah.
And it's just being more aware of yourself. Sarah used to say I was incredibly clumsy, and she hasn't said that to me for months.
Really?
Months. I can't
remember.
Why'd
you say that now time. And then she's going to say that like later?
No, maybe, sure. But I think that's just, I'm becoming more spatially aware of myself. I mean, when I was doing my skipping initially, I'd be bouncing all over the place, not able to keep just my constant up and down. So I feel like, I'm very much, that would be a positive, is my spatial awareness, my ability to control my body better.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
And then kind of the last question, and kind of like a fun question, is how does it feel to have Sarah beat you in workouts?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's great. I didn't ever think, Sarah, I didn't think seeing an athletic side of Sarah would impress me as much as it does. But yeah, it really it does. She's great. Today on those bikes, I mean, I've got to try and stay ahead of her, and it's great to see her so healthy.
Yeah.
To see her getting better every day, and I just think to myself, it's what it's all about, you know, because you want her to be as healthy as she can possibly be and go for as long as she can, and the strive she's making just push you on further.
Yeah, and that's awesome that y'all are kind of working together to better each other.
Oh, absolutely,
Like, and then how you brought her in, and then like both, and then like she's challenging you, you're challenging her. Y'all are both pushing each other in a positive direction, which is awesome. And
there's so many couples that come here that do that, you know, and obviously have those same feelings. And it's just great. I think it's really, it's healthy for our relationship, super healthy for our relationship. So I can only imagine it's super healthy for all of theirs as well.
Yeah.
Which is great, you know. So
that's awesome.
Brilliant.
Well, congratulations again, Charles.
Thank you,
on
sir.
your
Appreciate
Member of the Month.
Appreciate it.
And then